Hello, my fans and Minecraft forum community. This is my idea for a mod for Minecraft. It's called the Planetary Mod. Probably could come up with a cooler name than that, but I want this to be a community thing like the Aether was. I don't want it to be, just one guy, specifically me and my thoughts. So let's begin. So the most notable part of this mod is that it makes it so that the Minecraft world is um, playably a cube, but it's more. It still behaves like a flat land. There's no like special gravity to it or anything. But the second most notable feature is the fact that you can travel to the moon, the sun, these asteroids going around the sun, and a third body in space called, I'll just call it Mars for now, for simplicity, but that's probably not what it is. And that planet would have its own flora and fauna and stuff. But here is how biome generation would work. In the upper levels, you have colder biomes like Arctic. The second one, you have deciduous forests. And the third one down, you'd have tropical forests. The fourth one, you'd have barren plains and sandy areas and deserts and that kind of thing. This is not like, in below that, you'd have the ocean biome, which would be a really, really deep ocean. Um, yeah, so this would, or in the upper biomes and say the very top biome, you still have a chance of generating a desert, but it's much much lower than if you're near the ocean. But the thing it's all based on chance, is what I'm trying to say. It's not like a solid set thing, so it's not going to be all everything above this point is going to be Arctic. There's still there's still small chances of other things getting mixed in there, including maybe even an ocean biome, like a really deep lake, just like in the middle of a mountain. So that keeps things interesting in the generation. The second thing I want to point out about generation in this would be that the upper and lower sections of the world, the ones furthest from the sun, uh, in a three-dimensional world like ours, speaking like that, the upper and lower ones would be mostly ice, just like in our world, and around the edges, ice would be more scarce. More towards the equator, the ice would be more scarce. That kind of thing. Um, and then also, terrain generates in peaks. It creates several peaks on each side, not necessarily three like I have shown here. And then it generates the land out from that. As you get further from the peak, you have a higher chance of generating ocean, and you have a higher chance of generating lower biomes, but you also still have a chance of going up a little bit, so it can create mountain ranges and that kind of thing. And also, if you're closer to a peak you are, the more chance you have of generating land. So if land generates really, you can have land bridges between two peaks, so continents can merge, and yeah, that kind of thing. Thank you. Oh, wow, I almost thanked you for watching and signed off, but yep, that's that. This is my idea for generating the nether and all things nether. I'll explain that. So my idea for the nether is basically that it's in layers, because and each layer would be 128 by 128, and as you go down through the layers, you'll be teleported to the top section of the next area of the nether. And yeah, so the first layer that you see, the green one, is the real world in its 128 tall glory. The second layer is a 128 tall nether, and it's mostly land and partially lava lakes. And then the next layer in is about 50-50, and the next layer in has very little land and mostly lava lakes. So it's a very good place to be if you want a lot of lava. but it's also a very bad place to be, seeing as how mobs are going to be on you like flies on honey. And there's going to be gas shooting, uh, as far as I can tell, exploding bowling balls at you, and they're going to blast you off of the small piece of land that you're on. So it's going to be a tough place to be in, but it's very, very resource heavy in terms of lava. I'm thinking maybe some kind of serpent or something, some kind of dragon down there, but like more of a classic Chinese dragon that's more like a snake. Maybe doesn't fly. I don't know. Here's your propulsion system. At the top is the one new item I've added so far. I want to keep that to a minimum because I think that having 20 different kinds of swords made from 30 different materials is sort of um, useless. And if it's more powerful than Diamond, then it destroys the gameplay. And if it does something besides break the block, like phase it out of existence, it's kind of useless, I think is the word I'm going for. I don't know. But, yeah. So, yeah, just stack up a bunch of TNT under your thing and launch yourself in the air, like so many people do already, except they have to use invincibility to do it. But the pod makes you invincible to all damage. That's its thing. It also makes it so you can go underwater without drowning, but you have no control over the pod, so it's kind of useless. This is the lunar landscape. This is the surface, and if you happen to find a very large crater, you'll find the secret of the lunar landscape, which is this. And at the bottom line in the tunnel down there, you'll be transported into this new biome, which I call the mega biome. It's full of megafauna and mega flora, and the mega flora is basically just probably pretty big flowers, maybe the giant mushrooms. But the most striking feature is these trees, which grow over time. Maybe I'm thinking once they reach a maximum height, they turn into a dungeon. The idea is that they're procedurally generated trees moving up, and every time they grow up, the entire, all of the branches and leaves move up with it until it reaches, and the branches and leaves grow out too. It grows at about a rate of 1 log per day, and I think that once it reaches this uh, meteorite ceiling here that I don't know if I want to be mineable yet or not, then it will burn a large portion of the tree away and force it to regrow anew. These trees are not plantable, however, you can mine their root and replant them somewhere else. And the large fauna that would move throughout this world would be very unique. I don't want, like a maybe some kind of like T-Rex type thing, but it would have to look cool and unique. I'm thinking more along the lines of like a giant octopus or something that breathes air. That's more the thing I'm going for here. Something really cool and something that's always threatening you. And a pretty decent variety, like maybe 5. And back to the top, I want to talk about the asteroids. They are going to be dungeons that you randomly encounter every time you travel to the sun. You have a chance of, like a 1% chance of going to one, and at their core they have, like, I don't know, like a asteroid core, and you put it inside a furnace and it burns forever or something like that. I don't know, something cool. And the sun, I haven't really had any ideas for yet, but it would be perhaps a really long burning material, sunstone, or maybe there'd be like some kind of demonic creatures on the sun. Maybe it'd just be like a really big nether. I don't I don't know if I like that idea though. I think it's kind of lame. And the way you would get back to the Earth from either place is you would see the Earth rise, and you would travel to it like that. Of course, the sun can rise on the moon, and you can travel to it from there. So if you decide to make your permanent home on the sun or moon, then you can totally do that. And then the the next planet that I want to talk about is the final planet, and it would have procedurally generated dungeons on it and possibly some kind of Martian people. Maybe the Martians would be hostile to you, and they would attack you. I don't really want a lot of high-end technologies like spaceships and stuff because that kind of ruins the game for some people. And also, I don't know if I want really high-tech creatures like Martians, so maybe we'll go with something cool like maybe that planet's the home of the Endermen. Maybe that's what it is, and that planet's like technically their farmland or farland, and they figured out some way to get here. And maybe they live in massive towering cities, and or maybe they live in little dungeons underground, and they're all procedurally generated and cover the landscape, but they're all really challenging to get through. And of course, the Endermen in this world would be instantly threatening. But yeah, I don't know. Just something cool like that. Of course, I don't want this to be just my project because I don't know how to code, first of all, but the main reason is I don't want just my ideas in here. I want it to be a community project like the Aether was, because as cluttered as I think that is, it turned out to be really well done, and a lot of people like it. So yeah, I just want to keep it simple, and I want it to be really, really awesome. And I think that this is an awesome idea. I think that the cubicle Earth would be really cool for SMP if none of these other things were to work for it, just because you're able to. I don't know. I don't know. I just think it would be cool. Each side of the Earth would be about 2 hours long. Each hour would be of you walking from one end to the other. Of course, that includes water. And the moon would be about 1 hour long, so half the size, and the sun could either be 3.5, or 4, and the asteroids would just be singular dungeons, and I'm thinking that the other planet would be about 1.5. And of course, the other planet could either be a copycat of this planet, or it could be some kind of new non-Earth-like planet, not a Terran planet, as one might say. But yeah, comment, rate, subscribe. Tell me what you think. That's really important. I want to know what people are thinking about this. And I'm probably going to put this in the Minecraft forum. So please leave your suggestions there if you have any more ideas for this mod, or you want to help make it. I'm going to try to get a community of builders together. Perhaps the ones from the Aether, now that the Aether is out or just about out. But yeah, thank you for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe. You know the deal. And bye.